Trattati sempre bene, ti stupirai di quanto possa piacerti. Pasta integrale Barilla, la bontà che sorprende.
Here we are in Wimbledon for the final day with Steve Flink, great colleague, friend and Hall of Famer. Steve, so Novak Djokovic won this tournament for the fourth time and he was beating Anderson 6-2, 6-2, 7-6, but in the third set he was in trouble.
He was, Ubaldo. He really controlled the tempo of the first two sets. Anderson looked way out of sync on his serve. He didn't move well, especially with the right forehand. And Djokovic really controlled the rallies from the backcourt. He controlled everything, served very well himself, and you thought he was on his way to a clean straight set triumph. But the third set really was rough because he had to save 2 set points, Djokovic did, at 4-5 on his serve, and then 3 more at 5-6. He was very disciplined because by that stage, Anderson was moving much better, finding the corners with his big first serve, and he just looked like he looked like he was revitalized to me. He had some energy back, and he thought he could maybe win that set. But in the tiebreak, Djokovic was a much better player. You anticipated it, Ubaldo, because it was only 2-1 for Djokovic on serve when you said, well, at least he made a match of it. Why did you think that Djokovic had it then?
Well, first of all, I thought at the beginning Anderson, yes, he was tired because of all these marathons before with Federer, 13-11 in the fifth, then Isner 26-24,
right.
But I thought it was mostly tense. I mean, he was nervous. It's like he played like the first set versus Federer, and he said that afterwards in the press conference. So then finally, I think he found some energies, and he was able to compete well. And you mentioned those 5 set points. I can tell you that at least 2, he went very close to convert them.
He did, and Djokovic hit a forehand on one of them. The crowd started to gasp because it was hit at a high trajectory, but he had enough topspin to make it drop just inside the baseline.
Yeah.
And he won that point. You're right, and Anderson missed a return by not too much, but Djokovic was very disciplined, very determined, because he did not want to play a 4-set himself. After all, he played 5 hours, 15 minutes to beat Nadal over a 2-day period, Ubaldo, so that wasn't easy either. It was more like nearly 3 hours the first day and a little less than that the second day, but that was a lot of tennis for Djokovic, and he wanted to get this over with in straight, and that's what he did with a fine performance in the tiebreak.
Yes, I don't want to take anything out of the Anderson, but I believe that probably the real final was the one that Djokovic won versus Nadal.
It was. In a way, it's a shame that wasn't the final. It was one of their classic encounters. It goes right up there with the 2012 Australian Open final, 5 hours, 53 minutes, 8-6 in the fifth for Djokovic, and Nadal winning over Djokovic in Roland Garros the next year, 2013, 9-7 in the fifth in the semifinal of Roland Garros. Now this one, I put it on the same shelf, a really first-class confrontation.
Yes, now Djokovic, having won 4 Wimbledon, is in the same elite group with Bjorn Borg, who won it 4.
Borg had 5, of course.
I said Rod Laver. Rod Laver won it 4.
Right.
Borg won it 6.
Yes.
And then Federer won it 8 and Sampras 7.
Yeah, now we must go back to Borg. He won 5 in a row, but he never did win it again. Remember, he got it 76-80.
Oh, okay.
So we wish he could have had the 6, but McEnroe spoiled that in 1981.
Okay, I made a mistake.
But still, it's elite company, you're right. And he talked a lot about Pete Sampras in the press conference, Djokovic, his idol.
Yes, because he said he was his idol, and he said, I won 13, and I could reach 14 if I would just win 1 more. Could that be the US Open already?
Entirely possible, Ubaldo. He'll certainly be one of the 3 or 4 big favorites to win that title. He's only won it twice. He hasn't done himself full justice in New York, because I think, on balance, he's the best hard-court player of this generation. So he should have a very good chance, because this gives him such a big dose of confidence winning Wimbledon again.
Well, so we end this video session in Wimbledon. I made all the possible mistakes today, but luckily there was here with me Steve Flink, who correct me as you usually does. Thanks, Steve, for being here.
Yes, but you're the one that makes sure that I don't talk too much when I occasionally get carried away.
Occasionally? Okay. Bye-bye. See you at the US Open. It's our next game.
Yes, thanks, Ubaldo.